Good morning, sports fans. What's going on? Jeff Michael here with Sports with Balls. Coming to you live, man. It's been a minute since I've done the show. Been dealing with a lot, getting my oh wow, this is looks like I'm really close up on Instagram. That's all right, guys. Listen, thanks for tuning in. Jeff Michael, Sports with Balls. We are back at it. Man, big show today. Lots going on. I'm going to get to the Super Bowl stuff here in a little bit. First off, I want to thank a couple of people making this show possible. Number one, Novus Building and Design. Give them a call, guys. 713-805-9513. Novus Building and Design. We believe building a home is more than just construction. It's a calling. Being female-owned and family-run, guided by our faith and commitment to integrity, we have spent their entire career turning visions into reality through home buildings and remodeling services. So give them a call when you get a chance. All right, guys, tons going on in the sports world, man. Welcome to the show. Like I said, dude, I'm stoked about being back on the air. Ran into a couple of people this past week, and they were like, dude, please get back on the air. Want to thank those guys for actually forcing me to do this again. It's been a minute. I really need to get back out there, and shit, man, here we are. 30-minute show, not scripted. Sports fans everywhere, welcome back to another edition of Sports with Balls. I'm your host, Jeff Michael. Do we have a loaded episode for you today? Yes. We'll hit NFL. We'll hit MLB. Some NBA news is buzzing right now. Fresh fallout from Super Bowl. Spring training buzz. Buckle up. Let's get it. Here we go. All right, guys. We all saw the Super Bowl stuff. Everybody saw Seattle whoop the living shit out of the Patriots. And look, I'm okay with it. And I just – here's the problem I have. Is that everybody thought that Drake May was terrible. Dude, that Seattle defense was absolutely effing ridiculous, guys. Ridiculous. All right? But here's the thing. I'm going to give you some stats about Drake May and Pat Mahomes' first Super Bowls, right? Drake May was 27 of 43. Actually, better percentage than Sam Darnold. Way better. Darnold was 19 of 38, I believe, which is only 50%, right? So he was 27 of 43, 300 yards almost. He had 295. 7 yards of pass, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and got sacked 6 times. Now, Pat Mahomes, his first Super Bowl, 21 to 32. That's a good percentage, but less yards, 257, right at the same average per yard. 3 TDs, same interceptions too, and got sacked 6 times as well. Like Drake May's numbers, I mean, he just looked off. But you got to hand it to that Seattle defense, man. Y'all cannot sit here and say it's Drake May's fault. You can't sit here and blame it on the New England Patriots offensive coordinator or any shit like that. Dude, it was absolutely ridiculous the way Seattle's defense was playing. Now, in the first half, the Patriots defense was playing lights out as well, but I think I even said this to a buddy of mine, Pete. Pete Dedeen is, by the way, an incredible attorney. I was watching the game at his house, and I said, I wonder if New England can keep this up, because it's going to be up to the offensive coordinator to kind of figure out how to deal with these defenses, because New England's defense looked great as well. New England couldn't run the ball. Seattle figured out how to start running the ball, and the first half was boring, right? I went home at the first half. I went home from my buddy Pete's and went home, and I watched the second half in bed. But look, it was an okay Super Bowl for me. I didn't win any money. I put a bunch of money. Well, not a bunch of money. I'm sorry. I put a bunch of parlay bets in. Obviously, the offenses were terrible, so I didn't really win any of those bets. Like Jackson, I think I had JS in for first touchdown. Also, who'd I have for? I forgot who I had for the Patriots first touchdown, but it wasn't. It was Barefoot guy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But it was entertaining. It was fun. It didn't do a whole lot for me this year. I don't know why. I wanted Drake May to win because I've got some incredible rookie cards of his, but hopefully they'll get back there next year. The only reason I say that's not because I'm a Pats fan. It's because of the card value will skyrocket when this stuff goes up. But yeah, man. Super Bowl was good. Here's the thing with Drake May and the Pats. Like, if you look at who's been to the Super Bowl, and like Matty Ice never got back. Never got back to the Super Bowl, right? And I'm just talking about if Drake May can get back. Matty Ice never got back. Cam never got back. Kaepernick obviously never got back. Donovan McNabb never went back. Burrow hasn't been back. Jared Goff hasn't been back. Brock Purdy hasn't been back. It's tough to get back to the Super Bowl. And I think that they have a good recipe there in New England. I don't think they're going to fall off. They're well coached. They got a good defense, and it looks like they have a great offensive state of mind. So I believe that the Pats will be a contender for the next few years. That's if Drake May can stay healthy. We'll find out. But a lot of people were dogging him, and look, his numbers were good. They weren't great, but they were good. They were better than Pat Mahomes for a Super Bowl. I mean, well, at least even with his. It's just the hatred towards Drake May. Man, that Seattle defense was freaking unbelievable, man. Unfreaking believable. So that's what won the Super Bowl for me. Now the MVP, I like Kenneth Walker deserves it. I'm glad his father was there to watch his first football game in person, so that was pretty cool. But Kenneth Walker, he deserved it, but man, I would have given it to the kicker. I would have given it to the kicker. I don't know how you don't. What do you have? 5 field goals? He outscored the Patriots by himself, and they gave it to Kenneth Walker, which, I mean, it's understandable. Oh, and the one bet I did have, this was wild. And I was hoping it would – I mean, there was 5 field goals kicked by them. I just needed one to hit the upright. It was like plus 1,600. And, of course, not one of the field goals hits the damn upright. So lost that bet. Oh, well, it is what it is, man. I think the controversy of the entire Super Bowl, or what made the headlines, was the halftime show, which I didn't watch. And it wasn't because I didn't want to or had any sort of drama about the halftime show. I just was driving, so I didn't watch the halftime show. I thought it was pretty cool what he put on. I told my son before, I said, watch Lady Gaga be in this. And, of course, she was. She's down for all kinds of stuff. I've seen bits and pieces. I don't have a problem with it. I understand the English barrier, I guess. But, yeah, man, that's a bunch of nonsense to me. If the guy put on a good show, he put on a good show. What was weird to me is if I saw clips of if you're at the stadium watching the halftime show live, it just looked weird. On the TV, it kind of looked cool, right? He's walking through a jungle or whatever theme he was going for. But live, it just looked weird, just with all these bushes all over the stadium. It just, I don't know. I think it was made for TV. It wasn't made for live. But good on San Francisco. I saw a bunch of parties that went on there. I did not make it to that Super Bowl. I may make it to next year's. I think it's LA next year. It's SoFi. That should be fun. That will bring out every single superstar possible. Not that this year's didn't. I just think next year's in LA will be something special. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I can make it over there to that. If you want any bets, man, good for you. Shitty thing is we got 230 days left until football season is back on. Congratulations to Sam Darnold, I guess. Seahawks win their second Super Bowl. Great defense if they keep their pieces together. DeMarcus Lawrence, that's who I thought deserved. He left the Cowboys because he said he'd never get a ring there, and everybody gave him shit for it. And look, he just won a ring in his first year with Seattle, and that was kind of under the radar, and nobody was really talking about that. But I thought that was a huge storyline. If you want to bring the Cowboys into this somehow, so there you go, Cowboys. Everybody knows I'm not the biggest Cowboys fan in the world, but leave a comment here on the show, man, if you want to. I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. Those of y'all listening to the podcast version, thank you so much for tuning into Sports with Balls. I will start doing at least 2 shows a week now. Obviously, football season's over. We won't have a ton of NFL stuff, but the NFL always stays relevant, right? We'll start doing draft stuff with them. I can give you 2 early picks for next year. We can talk about the Houston Texans, who a lot of people thought should have been in the Super Bowl, and it would have been different. I don't know about that, but we'll see next year how that goes on. But now moving on to to the next segment of the show, brought to you by my boy Wes Butler over there at Butler CCS. Fire, water, mold, roofing, you name it. Give him a call, 713-330-9472. That's Butler CCS, man. If you have a leak, if you have a fire in your home, if you need a new roof, anything that has related with fire, water, mold, or roofing, give Wes Butler a call at 713-330-9472. Baseball season is here. I am stoked. Today is pitchers and catchers report. I saw some people yesterday reporting. Fantastic. I will be in, and I'll probably do a show. I'll try to do one live from the Astros spring training. I'll be there the 10th through the 15th or 16th. So I'll be down there in West Palm, beautiful Florida, visiting the parents and seeing the Astros spring training. I think I'm going to the Mets, Astros, Nationals, Astros, Cardinals, and the Orioles. So my son's down there. He absolutely loves to get the autographs. I think last year we got a couple of Jordans, which is very rare, so that was awesome. But we'll be there for spring training down there in Florida. We'll try to hit a Marlins one as well. We'll try to get as many as possible. Who's going to stop the Los Angeles Dodgers? This is I did hear something the other day that was pretty cool, though. It's fun. There was a quote, and it was on the Dan Patrick show, I think. And somebody said it's fun to have a dragon to slay in the NBA, in the MLB. And I thought that was cool, right? Because you do have somebody. The Dodgers are going to be defending world champions. They made their lineup better. They made your pitching staff better. It's just, this is going to be ridiculous team to kind of beat. And barring injuries, they should be back in the World Series. But the thing is, it's a long season for them because of how good they are and because of how stacked their roster is and because of Ohtani. Is he going to pitch a lot? I just, every series with them is going to be like a playoff series. Everybody's going to be gunning for them. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the Los Angeles Dodgers kind of approach the season and how they get through the entire season and how they rest players. That lineup is is unfreaking believable. Some baseball news, just to kick off the spring season. The Philadelphia Phillies are trying to find a new home for outfielder Nick Castellanos ahead of their first full squad workout, which is today. Castellanos was benched late last season after he made what Phillies manager Rob Thompson described as an inappropriate comment after he was pulled from a defensive replacement. So obviously there's some issues going on there in Philly. I don't think Nick Castellanos will have a problem getting anywhere. The Pittsburgh Pirates, man. They just signed Marcell Ozuna. Now, this kid's got pop left in him, man. He's not bad. They signed him for a $12 million deal. And I know the Pirates were terrible last year, but this may be one of my comeback teams this year. Paul Skeens is on there. If they add one more pitcher and they add one more bat, you could see this Pirates team actually doing very, very well this coming up season. So I would watch out for the Pirates. They're going to be my kind of turnaround team, if you will. So I'm stoked to watch Paul Skeens this year. I think he's going to, not that the kid's not already great, but he's going to make a huge, huge step forward. The Astros have Josh Hader working back from an injury. They'll hope to learn more later this week about where he stands. That pitching staff, the Astros were okay last year. Obviously, huge Astros fan, being from Houston. I'm not supposed to be, I'm not supposed to pick sides, but on baseball I do. But I think the Astros do well again. I put something up the other day. Do you think the Astros will win 90 games, more or less, on social media? Go to Sports with Balls on your social media outlets, and there's just a bunch of fun stuff on there, man. People always doing sports debates, and some of them get heavy, so y'all be careful out there. But I think the Astros will win more if Yordan Alvarez can stay healthy. That is the key to their season. They got Correa back, and now they'll have a full season with them. So they've got Correa, you've got Altuve, you've got Alvarez, you've got Pena. You've got Cam Smith coming, back now, and hopefully he feels a little bit more comfortable. If you've got Pena, Smith, Jordan Alvarez, Correa, and Altuve all kind of on the same page, and the pitching staff is healthy, then you're going to have a good season. Lance McCullers is listed as one of the Astros starting pitchers. Wow. Man, Lance, I love you, bro, but whoa. If he makes it 3 games without an injury, I'll be absolutely floored. So we'll see about that. I know that let me see who I'm going to pick this year as far as who I want to win. American League East. And this is my look, today is first day of training camp. We know the Toronto Blue Jays last year battled it out with the Dodgers, which was fantastic. By the way, that World Series last year, guys, come on, man. That was amazing. World Series. Game 7, extra innings. Like, come on, dude. That was fantastic. American League East, the Blue Jays, the Yankees. I like the Baltimore Orioles to come up a little bit. They were 19 games out of first last year. Give me Toronto, though. They made their lineup a little bit better. I hope the Yankees and Toronto battle it out again. That's fun to watch. And I hope the Red Sox are up there as well. That's always a fun division. The American League Central. Chicago White Sox are going to continue to be bottom of the barrel. Minnesota Twins lost Correa. I'm going to leave them bottom of the barrel. The Royals, Tigers, and Guardians all should be up there. Again, that's a fun division when those 3 are playing. Bobby Witt, golly, one of the best kids in baseball, man. Love that dude. I'm not going to pick a winner yet. If it's early, my too early winner, give me the Royals. The American League West. The Mariners won 90 games last year, dead on. The Astros at 87. It was a battle till basically the last 2 weeks of the season, which was a lot of fun to watch. I hope it happens again. Texas Rangers, Athletics, and Angels in that division. I don't see how any of them got. You know what, though? Give me the Athletics to make a huge improvement this year. I like the Athletics. Now, are they the Vegas Athletics? I don't know. Where are they playing this year? I don't think that stadium's built yet. But I like the Athletics to make a big jump. I would love to see them relevant. Would love to see the Athletics relevant. So come on, Athletics. Over to the National League in the East. The Mets have lost. How do I even put this, man? How do I even put this? I'm not sure. The Mets spent a lot of money. This is the worst run baseball team in the majors, dude. Well, I don't know about that, but golly, dude. I'm not really sure how you lose your basically number 1 hitter, I guess, after Juan Soto. But they did. The New York Mets have lost their first baseman and their number 1 hitter in Pete Alonso, in my opinion. And I don't see how you recover from that. That guy, locker room guy, he's amazing on the field. We'll see. I think the Phillies do well there. I like the Nationals to make a little bit of a better jump. They were 30 games out last year. I don't think it'll be that way. The Braves need to get a little better. And a team that actually surged. Here's another shocker. I went with the Pirates, the Athletics, and on the national side, I'm going to say, or on the East, in the National League East, the Miami Marlins. This could be a really, really sneaky good team. Watch out for the Miami Marlins. In the Central, Brewers, Cubs, Reds, Cardinals, Pirates. I already told you I think the Pirates make a big jump. The Cubs, they stay relevant this year, and so do the Brewers. The Reds, dude, I love Ellie De La Cruz. Absolutely love Ellie De La Cruz. I just don't know. I don't know how he's going to do, man. I don't know. I don't know if the Reds, we'll see. I like the kid. He's flashy. Let's hope they do well. Then in the West, you, of course, Dodgers, Padres, Giants, Diamondback, Rockies. Rockies are going to stay down there. Almost a record-setting losing season last year. They were 50 games out of first last year. Dodgers, of course, winning the division. But the Padres were only 3 games back, so watch out there as well. I don't really have a surprise team in that division. I think the Dodgers obviously are the favorites to even win the World Series by a long shot, and the Padres are going to be good again. So there you go. My surprises, I told you, the Pirates, the Marlins, and the Athletics, and maybe the Baltimore Orioles. So there you go. That is my MLB kind of rundown for opening pitchers and catchers reporting. There's not any other huge news right now to go over, but of course, as spring training gets going, we're going to dive a little bit more into baseball. Let's move on. Let's move on to some NBA, and we all know it's not necessarily my favorite sport, but we're going to get into it. All right, guys, if you have any issues, look, building on a solid foundation starts with reliable information about the ground beneath you. Whether you're building a home, a highway, or an industrial facility, geotechnical testing is key to ensuring safety, compliance, and efficiency. Call Hercules Geotechnical Consultants, residential and commercial, guys. Residential and commercial. These guys are absolutely the best. Mark Fuentes over there. Number sitting right on the screen. Actually, let me move this out, this banner. So 713-884-5504, 713-884-5504. All right, guys, NBA. First of all, LeBron didn't get moved. I thought that he would have, actually. But he did not get moved. And apparently last night, this is funny. It says LeBron calls out the Lakers that they're not a championship team. No shit. I could have told you that long time ago. They got beat by the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, which is, started off with a historic run at the beginning of the season and have completely kind of like really relaxed. I still like OKC. They're just not as good as they were at the beginning of the season. We'll see if they can put it all back together. But they won 119-110 over LeBron James and the Lakers. And he said, you want me to compare us to them? That's a championship team right there. We're not. We can't sustain energy and effort for 48 minutes, and they can. That's why they won a championship. Oh, man. You're just not going to win with LeBron James leading your team. And I don't know how else to say that except for just as flat as I just said it. LeBron James is an old man leading a young team, and these youngsters in OKC or any other team, these are young ballers. Some old man is not going to win the NBA championship, and he's just out there stacking numbers. I get it. That's fine. Whatever. You're on like a retirement tour maybe. I don't even know, man. I hope to God he doesn't come back next year. It's getting ridiculous, man. These kids are amazing. And every time LeBron does some little dunk, they're like, oh, you can do this at this age. Go look at what the other plays that LeBron does that aren't dunks. The other day, he lost the ball like 3 times in a row trying to dribble. It was unbelievable. The guys, it's just, man, it's getting ridiculous. Now, speaking of the young kids, there were 2 huge fights in the NBA last night. I'm not really sure if this is what they're going for, but it is not a good look. It's already a one-on-one ball game. There's you can't really play defense. It's all offensive minded. And now you're having these kids fight on the court. And it looked ugly. It looked absolutely ugly last night. I'm going to start looking into the NBA games, and I'm going to start doing parlay of the days again. And I'll give you that, and I'll post the videos up for you to watch on TikTok and all the social media stuff for my gambling. But for my gambling show. But the NBA is tough, man. It's tough. I did 2 or 3 bets the other day, and the bets are, if you look on it, whether the game will get between 17.5 points over or under, like the spread of the game eventually. Like at any point, will one team be winning by 7? Will one team be winning by 18 points or not? And I picked the lowest spread game. So if it's a 1.5 spread, 2.5 spread, I'm like, nah, they're pretty competitive teams. No, all 3 times. The game, both 2 games went on 2 separate bets. They went to 18 points. And then, of course, the games ended up only 5-point games. But at one point during the game, they went to fucking 18 points, and I lost my damn bet. But anyways, enough. I digress. Eastern Conference, the Detroit Pistons lead the Eastern Conference. That is correct. You heard that. The Detroit Pistons lead the Eastern Conference right now by 5.5 games over the Knicks and the Celtics. Then you got the Cavaliers, Raptors, 76ers. 76ers playing a little bit better ball. Knicks, 9-1 the last 10. Good for them. Orlando Magic with a little bit of love, man. They're above 500 at 28-24 right now in the playoffs. Can you believe that? The Charlotte Hornets are also in the playoffs. You know who's not in the East? The Milwaukee Bucks, who didn't get rid of Giannis. The Pacers, the Indiana Pacers, are in last place in the Eastern Conference. Ouch. Ouch. Well, over the Western Conference, I just mentioned OKC and the Lakers. OKC leads by 4 games over the Spurs. Nuggets after that, then the Houston Rockets, the Lakers, and Timberwolves. Relevant teams, the Clippers, they're under 500. Portland Trailblazers, no. The Golden State Warriors, hovering above 500, 4 games above 500, 29 and 25. I just heard that Steph Curry will not be participating in the All-Star events. I say events because I don't even know what they do anymore. These All-Star games and the NFL Pro Bowl stuff is retarded. Way to go, baseball. Way to go, baseball, on doing the All-Star stuff correctly. That is amazing. These other sports, they need to figure out what baseball is doing. Bottom of the barrel in the Western Conference in basketball, the NBA, Sacramento Kings, the Pelicans, and the Utah Jazz. Dallas Mavericks are down there as well, but they got a superstar, man. They do. I absolutely love that kid. So I look, I'm trying to maybe collect as many cards as I can, but big fan of the young man down there in Dallas. By the way, the Duke, he's obviously from Duke, but the Duke Blue Devils blew the game versus versus North Carolina the other way. This was in North Carolina. I think if it was in Duke, the Duke would have won. But North Carolina never had the lead until the last 0.4 seconds of the game where they won it. Amazing. But look, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will be doing this more often. I told y'all Sports with Balls will be back at one point or another. So I'm Jeff Michael. This is Sports with Balls. See you in a couple days.